The Bhagavad Gita, one of the great scriptures of Indian philosophy. Something so remarkable that for 2,500 years, or even longer than that, the teachings have been passed on from generation to generation, culture to culture. A startling work of teaching, of inspiration, of philosophy, of theology. Perhaps the most stunning book that anyone may find in their lifetime to read. A book that can be returned to from time to time at moments of trouble in life. And a book that just simply for pure readability is a real page-turner. So all of this is the reason that we're interested in the Bhagavad Gita. And yet, it's important for us to have some idea of what is the context for this book. Where did it come from? Why is it that the questions that Arjuna asked are those questions that he asks? Why not other questions? What makes them so important? And how is it that Krishna guides Arjuna in such a way that his questions are answered completely and without doubt? These are the kind of things that inspire people to study the Bhagavad Gita. And the more we look at it, the more we realize that there is something immense in this book, something that requires attention over a period of time. To grasp it, we need to have some idea of what are our goals. What are we trying to accomplish in yoga? What are we trying to accomplish in life? It starts, really, with a list. And Krishna himself made this list. In the 7th chapter of the Gita, which has 18 chapters total, Krishna starts by saying that there are 4 goals that good people have, 4 reasons that good people come to yoga. One of those reasons is health. Somehow our health has become imbalanced, and as a result we are suffering. People come to yoga in order to resolve that suffering and to restore good health. Another reason that people come to yoga is that they're hoping to achieve something. They want to acquire a certain goal in life. These are good people, and the goals are good goals. Yoga somehow helps us feel confident that we can achieve those goals in life, or at least take the next step forward. So good people come to yoga to achieve something. And finally, good people come to yoga in order to know more about yoga. We are curious to know, how will yoga help me? How can it supply something in my life that's missing so far? These 3 goals, restoring health, achieving something useful and helpful in life, and learning something about the deeper purpose of life, these 3 goals might be listed at the top of a triangle. And if we put them there, then we'd like to know, how are those goals achieved? It's a triangle. It has 2 sides. And these 2 sides contain 2 strategies for achieving the goals of yoga. One is through practice. Practice of relaxation, practice of postures, practice of breathing, practice of meditation. That's the starting point for most of us in our work. We find something that we can latch onto and we continue to practice it until we feel better, or we've achieved our goals, or we know something about the purpose of doing that practice. The other method for achieving the goals of yoga is through non-attachment. Non-attachment is a bit of a stretch for most of us. First of all, we wonder, what is attachment and why don't I want it? Usually in the West, when we think about attachment, we mean attachment to those we love and we care about. So I might be attached to my partner, attached to my children, attached to my friends, my job, my city, or my country. But that's not the kind of attachment talked about in yoga. The word attachment in yoga implies something different altogether. The idea is that in yoga, attachment means the belief that something outside myself can bring permanent happiness. When I imagine that something outside myself can bring permanent happiness, it's a disturbance to my mind and to my heart. So the idea of yoga and the practice of non-attachment is to return toward balance. That is, return to the idea that I can find happiness within myself. Practice, non-attachment. These are the two great strategies of yoga. And beneath them, of course, lies the 8 rungs of yoga. The 8 rungs of yoga are our natural approach to yoga. Yamas, niyamas, asana, pranayama, and all the meditative practices that are included in yoga all fit into this triangle at its base. The key thing is also to remember that these strategies are all designed to help you. They're not designed in the abstract, but somehow you find yourself into the middle of that triangle, working your way towards the goals of life that are important in your life. The Gita is the prime book for helping us understand the principles of non-attachment. There are other books in yoga too. The Yoga Sutras, for example, helps us recognize practice, how to approach practice in such a way that it bears fruit in my life. So, in regard to practice, Yoga Sutras. In regard to non-attachment, the great text, the Bhagavad Gita. That's what we're about to embark on.